All right, let's roll into this next topic. So you guys remember the Meat Canyon former employee that got really upset and decided to trauma dump onto us about why they got fired by the Canyon of Meat? And I watched it. Her video got pulled down for apparently TOS because the thumbnail was inappropriate. Watched it through Turkey Tom. But this video, I randomly came across it as I was making my own thumbnail, finding a picture of this person. And they respond to Turkey Tom's video about them. I don't know if they watched it. I don't care. I still want to know their response to the criticisms. I think that that's what it is. They're getting comments that are like, hey, you're full of poop. And I actually agree with those comments. Here's a quick recap of basically what happened. This person came on. They said, hey, I have an issue with my alcohol consumption, something that they said. And then they tried to paint us a sob story about how they're the true victim of Papa Meat Canyon. They were an editor. They got paid $850 per video to edit. It seemed like those videos were anywhere from roughly 15 to 30 minutes. It seemed like it was mostly 15. The editing was fairly simplistic. It was zoom ins, zoom outs, some wacky, zany cuts. The typical, if you look at a Papa Meat video, a typical YouTuber video, frankly. Go watch an Oompaville video. It's the same stuff. Seems time consuming, not so bad. I would imagine that somebody who is very skilled at this craft could bang this out in maybe 20 hours tops. Could be wrong. Okay? I don't know. But $850 is not too bad. They couldn't maintain the workload. They claimed they were underpaid because they didn't get as much work as they should have gotten because they weren't able to get the work done. As you listen to what they're saying, there's a lot of BS excuses. One of the things that I caught was they talked about how, like, they talked a couple of times about how, yeah, I know I could bang this out overnight if I pulled an all-nighter. I knew I could bang it out if I pulled an all-nighter. What that communicates to me is high school mentality. You're procrastinating and waiting until the deadline to do it right then instead of doing what an adult would do and start it and try to finish it as soon as possible to get more work and to just display yourself as a better employee. If I'm hiring an editor, and let's say I give you a week to complete a task that takes 20 hours, and I give it to you on Monday, and I say I need it by Sunday, and you give it to me on Sunday all the time, I'm going to be a little annoyed. I'm not trying to be an asshole. Why not get it done sooner? Especially if you're complaining that you need more money, you want more work. It doesn't make any sense. Okay? They were half-assing their job. They made a lot of comments like that. They talked about how they regularly had blue screens on their computers and how they couldn't fix it. They would go to Micro Center all the time and couldn't fix it, and how they asked for money, basically, to fix their computer from Meat Canyon, and they would just be like, oh, no. Basically, like, no. And that's ridiculous. Why would they give you money? You're a private contractor. That'd be like if I went and I decided to pay a painter to paint a portrait of me and my wife, and they said, I'm going to need you to buy me new brushes first. Fuck you. This is your job. YouTube doesn't send me new computers. That's your job. You can write it off on your taxes. They were financially irresponsible. The reality is if you're constantly drinking alcohol, but you can't afford to fix your computer for work, you have your priorities out of order. Oh, I can't go to therapist. I can't this, I can't that. At the end of the day, those issues aren't his problem. You're slow to do your work. You wait until last minute. Your computer is apparently crashing all the time. You have no priority in the job that makes you money. Oh, I can't. Like, that's insane to me. They talked about how they got roofied in the beginning. Don't even believe that. They probably went to a party and got high, because that's what you do at parties. They made a bunch of excuses. They missed the deadline for one of their videos because their dog died and it was sad. They said, yeah, I took multiple days off for Thanksgiving, which also led me to, I think, missing another deadline. That's ridiculous. You're an adult now. You don't get to take multiple days off for holidays. They're in high school brain. Oh, but I get off the whole week for Thanksgiving in high school. Oh, immature person that doesn't know how to function. And after everything is said and done, instead of just shutting the fuck up and taking a severance that they gave her, which it seemed like in the multiple thousands, like 3,000 or 4,000, instead of getting that severance, when she got the severance, she was like, I think they were trying to buy me off with hush money. But they didn't make her sign an NDA. They were just trying to be nice on the way out. And she came forward and decided to expose people. That's the TLDR. They're an immature poophead. Sorry. I don't respect people who are that immature and lazy. Trans boogie. Let's be real. Okay. So anyway, let's see what they say.
Hi back, it's Bree. I'm just gonna do this over mic because I was out last night being the DD for New Year's stuff, so I kind of look like a disheveled little gremlin fucking gargoyle. But I wanted to make this to defend my honor.
There's none left.
And vindicate myself.
Okay.
I guess. Because apparently drama YouTubers caught whiff of this stream.
Sorry. Just to be clear. Drama YouTuber. I mean, yes. Him. He's a drama YouTuber. Tom. Me too. Sure. Whatever. Caught whiff, though? This is what you wanted. There's no other reason to release I got fired from Papa Meat and then talk about... She called them abusive, by the way. She called them abusive. What are you talking about? From the way that it seems that it was set up is that there was multiple editors and then there seemed to be like a quote-unquote chief editor. Maybe I'm wrong about this. That's what it sounds like. And this is another thing. If you want more work, make the workload for the chief editor less, because I'm assuming what happens is just like, hey, like Meat Canyon is going to pay the chief editor to watch through the videos before they're released and to do any minor last second editing, because there were people that were helping her every once in a while when she was behind on her workload too, which is also insane. And you're still getting paid $8.50. What the fuck? So if you wanted to be able to make more money and get more work, what you would do is you'd be done with it as soon as possible. You would take feedback from this chief editor so that they would have to do as little work as possible, and then you'd get more work, and then you would go to Meat Canyon after a couple months and say, hey, listen, I produce videos quickly, efficiently, very minimal work for your editor. You're saving money by not having to double check my work in the same capacity. I'd like to get paid $9.50 a video. It's called advocation. But instead of doing that, last second, getting drunk and finishing it overnight, missing deadlines, making excuses, get the fuck out of here.
And I have learned new insults.
But I know I'm yapping a lot, but this is what it is. It's like there's a new mentality, there's a new wave understanding, by the way, that people are getting overworked and underpaid, which exists in like a lot of ways. So this online person is weaponizing that when they're not getting overworked, they're not getting underpaid, and they're weaponizing that to say that they're the victim. I understand that he might make $15,000 after posting the video. It's him, it's his brand, and your editing style, your editing is not hard to duplicate. There's a uniqueness in being Meat Canyon. Hey, thank you so much. Right, so you're just not a valuable person when it comes to this work. I'm not talking about you fundamentally. So that's why they let you go, and they gave you severance, which is fucking insane. And you've ruined your ability to get any job ever in the future doing video editing with like any creator.
For being a that I didn't even know existed before. Cool. So that has been a wild experience. I haven't watched the video because I'm a pussy and I'm scared and that I don't have the mental fortitude to deal with that right now.
He was pretty nice. I think I was meaner in mine. To me, I'm sure that they said horrible things, like especially Tom's audience. He's he drops tactical slurs on stream. But the thing is to me, it's an over focus on being trans to deflect away from the criticism of them being shit. So,
but I'm sure they made some good points in response to the footage that I had up. I became aware of the video's existence after, the recent influx of wonderfully polite comments.
Well, this is what you asked for. You decided to make this shit public like a child.
That I was getting on YouTube and Instagram, which are like the only two platforms I use publicly. Anyway, I'm going to make this quick so I'm not wasting anyone's
Did he go goblin mode at some point? I don't think he did.
Time. I've been in this industry for quite a long time. I think I started YouTube professionally.
Not to be an asshole, because nobody deserves to get like harassed, but then you should have expected people to have backlash to your bullshit fucking cancel video. That's what it was.
Professionally, like 12 years ago. And I would hope at this stage, especially for the people who have known me for, as long as I've been around or an extended period of time, that I would have credibility when it comes to really trying to be as honest as I can and having integrity.
Yeah, your honesty was what fucked you, because you were being honest about the situation made you look stupid, because you're very clearly overreacting and you're in the wrong 100% of the time. And I also don't think that you're being fully honest.
Integrity when I'm in the public eye. And I hope that I also have garnered the same credibility for, having no problem with admitting that I'm wrong. I've done it plenty of times in the past, and people seem to now think that I'm old.
How old is this person? Because they have to be like 16. The only reason I asked that, this is 20 or 28 and you act this immature to play victim online? That's crazy. That's fucking wild. Jesus.
only apt to the self-righteous route.
Or they probably got popular when they were kids. She launched her channel on in 2011, basically. Yeah, of course. She fucking stuck mentally in there.
Don't get me wrong. We all get, especially I know that I am guilty of being self-righteous, you know, sometimes when it's
Never me.
arguments in internet comments or this and or that. But when it comes to like really having to sit down and analyze the situation from different perspectives, I have no problem with being honest about having fucked up or being in the wrong here.
You are in the wrong.
So I don't want you guys to approach this thinking that I had any malicious intent or was really trying to like ruin anybody's career.
You wanted to. Yeah, I think you were. I think that you wanted people to go like, "Oh, this Top of Meat guy's a piece of shit." What other possibility is there of making this video public?
Because in the stream,
Like, you knew what was going to happen. You were hoping that people would be on your side. That's why you spun this fucking pathetic narrative.
I did say I'm just ventilating. This is a stream being done in service
Who cares?
of comments that I had received on YouTube and Instagram asking why I was let go.
You could have just said, "That's a private matter. That's between me and them."
Also, I tried to make it abundantly clear that this is coming straight from my side. In that
You could have also said, like, "Yeah, I was struggling to get my work done because there was a lot of problems, and like I wasn't able to keep up with the workload, and it was unfortunate." But instead, you blamed them because you wouldn't fix your computer. So
from a business perspective, they had every right to fire me. But there was an emotional factor to it, like a business ethics thing
yeah, they worked perfectly within their ethics. They gave you severance. Shut the fuck up.
that was never communicated to me, and I was only left to stew in my emotions and the mystery.
Then you're just not self-aware, because the way that you described it, you were terrible.
A good analogy to try and like brew the same emotions for other people is, imagine if you showed up late for work once and the company policy says that they can fire you for that, so they do. They're not technically wrong for firing you.
I'm pretty sure from what I remember, it was 2 videos. It was one video earlier that they missed the timing on, and then the last straw video that they missed the timing on is what got them fired. So it happened twice. So let's just be clear. And it wasn't just, "I was late to work." It was a lot more than that.
For that reason. However, you watch your
No, she wasn't hired. And when she was 18, she was hired later on. They used to be a content creator.
coworkers do the same thing before you were fired, and all they
This
ever
is not
got
even
was
close to comparable.
a really tame warning. This was the sort of vibe I got towards the latter portion of working with them, and so there was
Yeah, you are unable to detect vibes clearly.
obviously a lot of emotion behind the story I had to tell, and the stream was a means of catharsis. I will admit that it was irresponsible for
Talk to your fucking friends and family,
me to leave that public.
which I know that you have, because you said that you had to help your mom and dad or whatever, your family, to get over the dog dying. It was so sad the dog died, so I couldn't get my work done. Okay, well, it was my family and I. She said something like, "I helped my family cope over the dog dying," or some dumb shit. So I was like, "Cool, you have family. Talk to your family about it. Don't need to talk to the internet about it."
For
I did, and my dad was like, "What are you talking about? You're wrong." "No, Dad, fuck you. You don't get it. I'm gonna go talk to like my young fans." I'm not saying anything like pedophilic. What I'm saying is that their young people are stupid. So you're looking for affirmation from young people. And I know I have young fans. Sorry, you're dumb. Okay, I was dumb when I was your age. You're probably smart, but you're like a dumb. Okay, now I'm dumb but smart. Okay, you kind of like reverse the flow. I'm just kidding. My fans are very mature for their age all the time, of course. Okay, they're very mature. That's what Yandere Stev would say. They're very mature for their age. And then he would try to talk to you.
me to make it public in the first place, only having really covered my perspective and not really having communicated those opposing viewpoints as thoroughly and as clearly as I should have. And really that apology just goes out strictly for the audience, because I may have, played a role in misconstruing or ruining people's view of somebody that they enjoy. And I don't want it to be like that. Like, I had my conflict, and I even stated in the stream, I don't want anybody to be getting backlash for this. I don't want you guys
There was
to.
no other reason to make the video. I just don't believe you. There's no, because you knew that was what was going to happen, and you were hoping people would be affirming. All right. You could have just said it didn't work out. Your stream was like an hour and change. Get out of here.
Stop watching Papa Meat. I don't think I phrased it verbatim like that, but I did say, like, nobody go, harassing the Papa Meat team or whatever.
Wow.
They're still
What a virtuous person.
still new. They're still growing. They're very, very young in the YouTube space. So I take some of that like naivety from them into account.
What were they naive about?
However, I'm not going to apologize for sharing my personal opinions on how I felt that their decision making lacked the fairness and compassion that I was led to believe that they would consider when I was brought on. Because I told them, like, hey, like, I'm still going to be pursuing school alongside.
Bro, you told, sorry, sis. I call everybody bro. You complained you didn't get enough work. That means that you didn't feel overworked. That means it's this I was going to school still argument doesn't hold up, because when you say I was still going to school, what you're asking them to do is be empathetic to your lack of ability to do work. But one of your arguments was that you didn't have enough work and that they lied to you and they said that they'd give you more work and you were missing out on $1,000 a month because of it. You can't have it both ways. You can't complain that you didn't get enough work and didn't get paid enough for that work, but you didn't get enough work. There's both arguments. You didn't get paid enough for each video. That was one argument. And number two was that you didn't get enough work. You can't complain about how you didn't get enough work and then go and be like, no, like, be sympathetic to me. I'm in school. I need more time. Those two things cannot fit together. You can't complain about both of them. It sounds like they were being... they were actually working around your schedule. They gave you less work by your own logic so that you could still be an editor. And that fucks the next person. Because if they have to give somebody... So one of two things is going to happen. Either one, they might give work to somebody else who wants it, which is great. Or two, they might have to hire another editor to just do one video a month, which is not enough of a sustainable income for them to make that a like reasonable primary job, which means they're going to have to seek out alternative income. And it could be kind of a burden for that person. You didn't have a positive impact here. You were lazy. And a lot of people work jobs while they go to college. You did a video editing job that you procrastinated on. And it's like, what are you talking about?
And it seemed like there was going to be a lot of leniency and a lot of understanding. And it just wasn't that way.
He should be friending you momentarily. His name is Mama Sayama. And if we get to the frequency, I would love to do that. I don't know what the fuck this is referring to. Also, if you are ever swamped in other stuff, just let us know, and we can accommodate to not throw a bunch of work at you. And of course, any other complications or questions, let us know. We want to make this as comfortable a gig as possible. Yeah, all those things they did by your own logic. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. I was worried about the variables regarding my schoolwork being an issue, so I'm glad you guys are malleable with that. Yeah, they were.
And obviously, you don't have to agree with me. That's fine. I think that I've been through enough professional workplaces. I think that
Doubtful.
I am at an age where I understand what I experienced was far from fair.
But disagree with the way that you presented it. You're just wrong.
You guys are totally entitled to disagree with that.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just telling you you're objectively wrong. Based on the way that you told it, you're full of shit.
Want this
What real job have you ever worked with any real stressors onto? I just can't believe that you have.
to get to that point, which can be, I feel like, a paradoxical statement because, it's
Paradoxal?
like I made it public. So what was I
Paradoxical.
expecting, when someone grabbed onto it and made it more public? And so, yeah, no, I shot myself in the foot there. I'm not going to lie.
Hey, guys, I'm old enough to know how the real world works. By the way, I could never have expected how the real world works when I released this video. Okay.
Anyway, if you haven't noticed, I'm not active on YouTube. This is not my intended career. I pull in no fucking money from it, and I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to use this content.
Bro, you were on the stream getting tons of donations. There's no way that you didn't know you were going to make money from this. This is fucking bullshit. I just don't believe that. I don't believe that there's not a factor there.
Controversy to drum up some views and make myself relevant. Please, for the love of God, if there's anything I have to beg of you, it's that. Do not misconstrue it for that. Ultimately, if there's anything I want anyone to take away from this, it's future YouTubers, current editors, future editors, anyone who could benefit from recognizing these patterns and recognizing, like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be, in a situation that's overworking me or whatever.
How? Oh, dude, you see this? Overworking. Okay.
multitude of different like
Okay.
bad
All right.
behavioral patterns that you can
All right,
acknowledge
guys. If you were even overworked time-wise, because I forgot one of the things that they said it was so stupid was like, yeah, one of the problems with video editing is that sometimes like you really can't talk to people or listen to music while you do it because you have to listen to the video. Like, yes, that's true, but shut the fuck up. It's like that's the job. If you don't like it, don't do it. Then you apparently didn't like it. This is what it really sounds like. She didn't like the work, so she sucked at the job. She had no passion for it, so she would fucking, guess I have to get it done by the end of the deadline. You weren't a good fit, and they could pick up on that because you were getting work done late, and you were a fucking burden to them. And instead of just being like, yeah, this is just not for me, you decided to say fuck it and go public, probably because you decided you never wanted to do this work again. And that's fine. But like, that's what you did. There's no reasonable perspective here. You're acting like a kid. It's pathetic. You're 28. It's time to grow up. Like this is insane that you're even going around saying shit like this, like publicly. It's just so stupid.
to keep yourself out of a situation that I went through, or having the better, mental, verbal tools to communicate that with your teams in the future. I wasn't, the employee of the month.
Zaka98 super chatted $20.
Hey, thank you so much.
Time catching a stream.
Thank you.
Daddy Gut. Love your content. Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. How couldn't you love my content? Just kidding. I really appreciate that. I love you.
The little star child. I recognize that the team has a lot of obligation to keep things on time so that everyone else, doesn't.
But they just admitted that they weren't.
Wasn't, the employee of the month, the little star child. I recognize that the team has a lot of obligation to keep things on time so that everyone else, doesn't have their payments and livelihoods influenced.
Yes.
And obviously there are obligations to sponsors and deadlines for that.
Yeah, that is a pretty big deal, and you helped miss the obligation for the sponsor.
But
I
from
believe it was twice.
my experience in the YouTube space in the past, about YouTube revenue and, the leniency sponsorship reps have when it comes to unforeseen circumstances.
Who cares? So this whole argument that they're making is like, hey, you have a lot of discretion about the way that you decide to upload content. If something's a day late, it's not a big deal. The advertiser really doesn't care. They send you the money once you upload it. They don't care too much, generally speaking. Now, let's say that's mostly true, because I imagine there are advertisers that, that's a business and they are like in the business of advertising. And when they are trying to advertise, I imagine it might be some kind of a plan to release a particular thing, or they might have a sponsorship code that's like implemented right when this happens. And I don't know all the specifics. That is an argument from the perspective of somebody with shit work ethic that's not designed to work for them, to work basically for themselves, because that's what this is. Working for Meat Canyon is working for yourself in this capacity. That's what it is, because you're basically given a job to do. This is how all businesses work. There's general structure. You don't need to have as much structure, but they wanted to. And you want to know why? Because when you implement structure, it's easier for you to output work and get into the habit of it and be seen as a professional, and to even get into mainstream, which is a lot of content creators want to do. Like, Meat Canyon is wildly successful. I wouldn't necessarily argue he's super mainstream. You could have millions of views and you're still not necessarily mainstream. That's a big deal. People want to go into that next level. And so like when you're on your job, is like, here, I need this video done in a week. You have no structure other than it needs to be done on this day. You could do whatever you want to do to get there. You could front load it and get it done as soon as possible, so that if you do make mistakes, you can get them corrected. You can have an easier time getting feedback from the person you're working for. You can look good by having it done early. It reduces their stress level. Or you could do what you seem to do constantly, like get it all done overnight, put it out there. And if there were problems like my computer crashed and I lost half of my work, there was no way to rectify that because you fucked up, because you waited to the last second and you gave no barrier into that situation. Because I imagine that if let's say they gave you the video, like I said, on Monday, and you had to have it by Sunday, but you work on it every single time. You have that video done by Thursday, and you submit it and you take feedback, and like, this guy's awesome. This girl is awesome. This person is awesome. And then you have that time where like, dude, my computer fucking crashed and I lost half my work. They might either help you finish it or even pay you more to finish it, because like, we know you're not full of shit. But you don't have that. Like, nobody can trust you based on the way that you're talking. And you even said, like, at one point, things were super friendly at first, but then as time went on, they kind of hated me. I was like kind of like the black sheep. No shit. Because you're not a good worker. And other people are pulling their weight, and you're simply not. You're asking for more things. You're dropping you're heavily dropping in, say you want them to pay for a new computer for you, acting incredibly unprofessional. Because you lack the ability to be structured. You need to go work a job that tells you when to come in, when to leave, and when things need to be done, like almost in a micromanaged capacity. Like you're not able to keep up with, I need to work every day and do X, Y, and Z. Like you need to have better structure in the way that you operate.
The inconveniences that arose for video delivery for circumstances outside of my control.
No, they weren't. They were completely in this person's control. They were procrastinating, and their computer kept crashing. Get a new one. Get it worked. Get it fixed. That is your job. That you were saying you were supposed to be getting one video a week, $850 per week. That is $45,000 a year, roughly. You're telling me that you don't think it's worth spending $500 to upgrade your computer for that? You have the money. You didn't want to put the money in the right places. You wanted to, by your own account, drink a lot of alcohol. Okay, there are people who can't afford a $500 emergency payment, and that sucks. You, not one of them, in my opinion. You're somebody who makes $45,000 a year working part-time. Find the money. You can do it. You can ask your family for it. And you even said I was going back and forth to Micro Center. Okay, what were you doing there? Fucking talking to somebody? That's what you said. You said I went back and forth over and over again. So their diagnostics team can do it. It's like $20, I think, to figure out what's wrong with your computer, and then they can fix it for you, and you can pay money for it, and there's nothing wrong with that. I did it a couple times and it worked out, and then I bought a computer from them, and like the something that's so shit on the computer, like it fucking doesn't connect to the internet very well, and they said there was no problem, so I just haven't gone back there. Fuck them. Anyway, you just want to make excuses. And it is what it is, and people don't have time for excuses. You're in a position where you could have got it done, and you decided not to. So, I don't know what to tell you.
Had absolutely no impact on the channel revenue or the performance of those videos. The inconveniences that arose for video delivery for circumstances outside of my control
or in your control
had absolutely no impact on the channel revenue or the performance of those videos.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't need to. It just doesn't need to. They had a structure that they wanted to fit into, and you decided that you didn't want to, so you're not a good fit for them. You didn't. This is what people are hearing. Some people are like, "Oh, I agree with her." Blah blah. But what I'm hearing that their channel it shouldn't be taken seriously. They're not taking their channel seriously. You're not taking his channel seriously on his reasonable regulations or structure that he wants to put in there. That's all you're saying. You're just not taking him seriously. Why? Like you're in some capacity disrespecting him and his brand and the structure that he's created because you don't feel like doing it. Why would you hire that person? If you're not taking him seriously, why the fuck does he want to employ you? Wouldn't you, I personally would want somebody passionate working for me. That's like, I like making the content. I like your content. I want to build and grow together. Not the person that's fucking half-assing it, because it's an additional stressor to have to hound somebody. I was a union guy for 11 years. When I was a manager, you had guys that did great work, and when they fucked up, you knew that they would correct it, and you didn't have to micromanage. And then you had the fucking boss's kids, and they were pieces of shit. You had the union rep's kid, and they fucking sucked ass. And you know what? They probably wouldn't have been so shit if mommy and daddy wasn't there to brush them through everything. Yeah, you know, your kid disappeared for 2 hours. Oh, well, you know what? Here, I'm going to start jacking off on you on the union rep. Fuck you, idiot. That's why your kid sucks dick. Okay? Because you suck. Because you're letting him get away with stuff. You're the union rep's kid. That's it. You're a fucking asshole. You're entitled. You suck. You're the person that I hated working with. And then myself and other people had to do extra work around. You're an unreliable person. But they're not in a union. They don't have to fucking deal with your bullshit, so they fired you.
956 super chatted $10. Father Belly, Long-time fan, thank you
Thank
for
you so
being
much.
the
Thank you.
reasonable, funny older brother we all need.
Thank you. I love you very much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
It was pretty much all by the book. The product that I did deliver, it was damn good. I really
It was fine. It was to their standards.
did damn.
But at let's just say they somehow blew it out of the fucking water. Like their videos were like 20% better. I'm just putting a random metric on it than anybody else's video. I would rather take somebody who would produce work that was of a reasonable quality, that got shit done on time, they cared about me, they respected me, and they respected my brand, than the person that is able to produce better work that is an unreliable, inconsistent person. I would rather take the lower quality because you're getting higher quality up from the person, and since they care about your product, it means that they could probably grow in a positive direction and get better at the work that they're producing. I don't care about this argument. It's stupid. Your argument is hey, I did edits well. Like, again, it's not like these edits were like fucking, I don't know, like this stuff, and editing's fine, but like hey, here's the editing. We'll watch it at 2x speed for a little bit. For like maybe 30 seconds. All right, here's the quality.
Oh my god! Fan bases are the worst. If you're in a rabid fan base, you're a part of a cult. You're a part of a hive mind. Today we are talking about Swifties. Swifties are Taylor Swift fans that are ravenous. Usually women, sometimes men, but mostly teenage women who are obsessed with Taylor Swift. And she's one of the biggest stars of all time right now. I mean, you have your Justin Bieber fans, you have your hairstyle fans. Nobody really compares. Wait a minute, Andrew Tate, but anybody really compares to Taylor Swift fans. Swifties are they're absolutely. Taylor Swift right now she's on her most recent tour, which is called Eros, which has grossed over $780 million. That's think about that for a fucking second. The second highest grossing tour of all time. The first being
So it's cool. It's done fine. It's professionally done. People could probably learn how to do that. Doesn't seem. It's just time consuming. My point is you're acting like you're this fucking incredible guy or incredible person. Excuse me. This incredible person that produces quality that can never be repeated, ever in the entire world. Like as if you just.
Welcome back to the Papa Meat.
Let's see what we got here. Let's see this video.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? This is our last upload for the year. This is probably coming up on one of the last days of the year. I just want to take this time to say thank you to everyone who showed up and supported the channel this year. Honestly, it's been such an explosive. What exactly is the best Christmas movie?
Christmas Vacation?
Nah.
The Grinch with Jim Carrey?
No.
Elf?
No.
Yeah, it seems fine. I don't really care. I don't really see too much of a difference. But even if your work was better than everybody else that was doing work, you're not producing it reliably. So it doesn't matter. Thank you so much for 7-month small gut. Hearing your experience makes me so happy you made it. Oh, thank you so much. I don't know what experience I had, but I love you. Thank you.
Good work. I did so much learning to just constantly better the things that I would deliver to them. I probably learned
Cool. You should have delivered it faster and more effectively.
more during that time about editing than I ever had.
And by the way, this communicates to me that they're willing to take on people who aren't great at the work and then grow with them and allow them to grow together. The fact that you came on and you learned so much tells me that they put a lot of effort into you to succeed as a person and as an employee. They brought you on, they taught you how to edit better, and you came out the other side learning a skill. They took a chance on you, and it was a bad chance. It was a bad shot because you disrespected them.
And to have my work ethic insulted was just really rough.
Your work ethic is dog shit by your own account.
Because I'm a STEM undergrad going for a double major in physics and comp sci.
Cool.
And I'm trying to pursue a PhD, and it's I'm getting closer to that double major, and you don't get there by just having your thumb up your ass. Why?
It doesn't matter. Your work ethic is shit. Sorry, I mean it just is.
About it. So it's just so weird for people to sit here and pretend I don't know what hard work is.
If your argument is that I was focused on school and I did shit at my job, okay, sure, maybe. Your work ethic was dog shit, and you made excuses. And what's so funny here, which just doesn't ring right to me, is this whole blue screen argument. I don't even know if I believe it, because you're telling me that you were really trying to push into a STEM major, and you didn't think it was worth investing money into a better computer. There's no way that you're not using your computer for schoolwork. So if your shit's crashing, wouldn't that be detrimental to your school as well? What were you going to do? What were you going to do if you lost all your schoolwork because your shit crashed? Were you just going to sell them a fucking sob story? It doesn't make any sense. Your work ethic sucks by your own account. You being a smart person, if anything, suggests to me that your work ethic is probably shitty. Maybe it is more shitty. This seems like the kind of person that was always able to do really well in life and didn't have to study too much, and they were able to get everything done last second. That's because you're getting things done last second all the time. Your work ethic probably does suck. Smart people that don't need to study very much, their work ethic sucks because they never really had to struggle. And now you have more structured, and your work ethic sucks. So, okay.
that also really bothered me, but at this point I'm digressing. So all that being said, again, I'm not trying to say the criticism is not unwarranted.
Well, you don't know what it is, so
I'm sure there's plenty of things that I fucked up and did wrong. Am I gonna go through and read through every single little thing? Probably not. I don't want to do that right now. I'm a little scared.
okay.
But I really wasn't trying to like expose Papa Meat. I just
Then it's hard to believe that you weren't trying to expose this guy if you were a content creator for like 15 years or however long, and you know how the space works. There's just no way. Like what, like you knew and you felt that you were right. So you thought people are going to agree with you. I doubt you expected to have this backlash, because this whole video screams, I didn't think people were going to react to it like this. You knew what would potentially happen. It sounds like you were like trying to have a negative impact on them. You know, your grievances are not warranted.
I was just sad. All right, at the end of the day, I was just fucking bummed out. I fucking love editing.
Okay. I disagree. Based on the way that you talk, I fucking agree. No, you don't. You procrastinated every time you got work. That's what you effectively alluded to. What are you talking about?
I had so much fun doing
Oh
that.
my God.
And it was just so weird the way I was just dropped.
Cool.
I'm just going to leave it there. Right?
Great.
If more comes out, then I really don't have anything else to say. I just leave it where it is.
Cool.
Then hopefully, this clears things up for some of you, and for others,
it doesn't.
You'll just feel no different. That's cool too.
There's no way this person loves editing. Dude, I genuinely think that this person is just like kind of lazy. Because the editing was good. It was solid. Compared to the other stuff we had saw later on, I would honestly say it was better. If you loved editing, there's just no way you would procrastinate this hard. There's just no fucking way. I just disagree.
I'm a little internet tranny. I'm like the perfect scapegoat for compulsive insults. But if you are, I'm
sure that there are people being rude, but you also you were in the wrong. So
if we're gonna go the tranny insult route, try to keep it on topic. All right.
Okay.
Let's not stray too far from what we're talking about now. And with that, thanks for attending to my cum talk.
Incredible.